conceal the very fact of our existence from the profane. If they discover us, conceal our real objective by profession of benevolence. If our real objective is perceived, pretend to disband and relinquish the whole thing, but assume another name and put forward new agents. When you hear the word Illuminati, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it this? Maybe this. Or how about this? Over the past few decades, our society has been inundated with symbols like these. They're everywhere, in TV, movies, commercials, and clothing. If you were to ask a random person on the street what this symbol means, you'll probably hear the word Illuminati used 9 times out of 10. It's become known as the Illuminati Eye and can be found everywhere from Taco Bell to soap.
Oh, Mr. Rothschild, do tell me how it feels to be the richest man in the world.
One has to be very clever to make a fortune these days.
Perhaps, but far more clever to keep it.
Really? Well, I wish you'd tell me how to make money on the stock exchange. What's the recipe?
The origins of the all-seeing eye symbolism can be traced back to ancient Babylon, where it was believed to be the symbol used by Nimrod on the Tower of Babel. God was angry with Nimrod and his people for their transgressions against the laws of nature, so he decided to scatter them across the planet and confuse their speech. From the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 9, quote, "Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth." End quote. So, when God spread the people around the world, he also changed their language, so that communication between different cultures would become nearly impossible. Without a way of direct communication, these people were forced to use symbolism to convey their ideas. This is why we see the same exact symbols spread all over the world and found in every ancient culture. And this practice continues to this very day, where we see Luciferians using the all-seeing eye symbol as a way to reveal their true intentions without saying a word. And this is the reason why the all-seeing eye symbol was taken over by the Illuminati. However, in order to understand the truth about the Illuminati, we must first take a step back in time, all the way back to February 6, 1748, when one Adam Weishaupt was born. Weishaupt was orphaned as a young boy and was adopted by his godfather, who provided him with an extensive library of over 4,000 books. And it was here where he became intimately familiar with the teachings of ancient Babylon and the mystery religions. Weishaupt would go on to graduate from college with a doctorate in law at age 20, and 5 years later he would become a professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt, Germany. Weishaupt became obsessed with the Luciferian ideology he learned from studying the ancient mystery teachings of Egypt and Babylon. He envisioned a world where traditional Christian values would be replaced with those of the old world, and he was not alone. Behind the scenes, he would gain support of many wealthy men, such as Mayer, Amschel, Rothschild. In 1773, Weishaupt and Rothschild had a secret meeting at the Rothschild's family home. The objective of this meeting was to, quote, discuss world revolution, end quote. Discuss world revolution. Interesting. I wonder if there were any revolutions in the world around that time that might have changed world history.
Why come ye hither, redcoat? Your mind what madness fills? In our valleys there is danger, and there's danger on our hills. Oh, hear ye not the singing of the bugle wild and free? And soon you'll know the ringing of the rifle from the tree.
As it turns out, our founding fathers were all well-known Freemasons with the exact same goals as Adam Weishaupt. to usher in a new golden age of enlightenment. But that's another video for another day. During his time as professor, Adam Weishaupt would meet one Maximilian von Mangelas, who would go on to play a very important role. Quote, "Behind Mangelas was Moses Mendelssohn, and behind Mendelssohn was the Jewish call, the Jewish International World Government." End quote. Around the year 1765, the Illuminati had established a Berlin literary review, quote, "with the objective of propagating the pernicious doctrines of shallow Illuminism and, in that, the infancy of German literature. When this periodical had scarcely a rival to encounter, the influence it exerted was more extensive than can at present even be conceived." End quote. As the order of the Illuminati developed, so did its ambitions, which would eventually expand into a plot to first infiltrate Freemasonry, then spread to the governments and religions of the world. Using ancient magic from Babylonian traditions, the goal of the Illuminati was to usher in a, quote, "golden age of enlightenment" by systematically removing the Western foundations of Judeo-Christian values and replacing them with the teachings of Babylonian mystery schools. Its members took secret oaths, pledging an unyielding allegiance to the cause, and through a strict system of monthly reports, secret confessions, and mutual espionage, members were watched at all times to ensure total compliance. According to researcher Le Forestier, quote, "Illuminism was just as much Masonry as the system of the Rose Cross, that of the Templars, or the crowd of Masonic French degrees." End quote. Identities were disguised and members used pseudonyms to avoid public backlash. Over the next 10 years, the Illuminati would grow in size and power and become seemingly unstoppable as they continued their reign of terror. And this would continue until one fateful day. On July 10th, 1785, Illuminati founder Adam Weishaupt was walking down the road with another member, a priest, Father Jacob Lang, when something incredible happened. Something that would go on to change the entire world and shape the very society we live in today. A bolt of lightning comes down from the sky and strikes the priest, Jacob Lang, killing him instantly. In what would seem like a freak accident, the townsfolk recovered the body and placed it in the chapel of St. Emmerin, where it was to be prepared for funeral activities. That was, until one of the monks found something strange hidden in his clothes. In what would read like a scene from a modern-day spy movie, the monks uncovered a list of Illuminati members and instruction sewn into a secret compartment in his clothes. These papers were quickly turned over to the counselor of the government of Upper Bavaria. After realizing what was happening, the authorities set up a series of raids across the country. More papers were found in a variety of places and on many people, such as judges and government officials. One official, Baron Mendel, the chamberlain of the elector, was found with an iron box filled with papers concerning the Illuminati. As a result of these raids and discoveries, Weishaupt was banished from Bavaria and the order of the Illuminati was forced to disband. Or was it? Remember this quote from the beginning of the video? "Conceal the very fact of our existence from the profane. If they discover us, conceal our real objective by profession of benevolence. If our real objective is perceived, pretend to disband and relinquish the whole thing, but assume another name and put forward new agents." At this point, the Illuminati were forced to go underground. They had no choice and had to, quote, "hide in plain sight in order to survive." And that's where they remain today. Or so it would seem. The truth of the matter is that the world today is a direct result of the plans Weishaupt put into motion so long ago. There are hundreds of secret societies operating today, all with the same goal: worldwide Luciferianism, and to usher in the quote golden age of enlightenment.